Yo people, welcome back to another video. Now today's topic, CX2, the mystery clone trooper from the Bad Batch Season 3. There's been a lot of speculation and guesses as to who it could be. Maybe my opinion is a bit more unpopular, but off rip I'm gonna say I don't think it's Commander Cody. I believe he will fight alongside Rex at the end, and he'll be like a special reveal, some sort of backup or something that Rex announces as I've reconnected with an old friend, and then he'll be unveiled. I also don't think it's a brainwashed tech. I think it would be a waste of a sacrifice, although I'm aware death has no meaning on characters anymore in Star Wars. However, I'm willing to give an alternative for people who think it could be tech at the end of the video. And last but not least, I don't think it's a new soldier that's a hybrid of all the Bad Batch in particular, although again, I can offer you a solution closer to the end of the video. For me, I have one answer. However, the answer has two possible outcomes if you hear me out. I believe that Clone X, CX2, whatever you want to call him, is a clone of Crosshair. Now, before we dive into it, I'd appreciate if you drop a like on the video, sub to the channel, and drop your thoughts down below in the comments as to who you think CX2 is. Now, why do I think it's Crosshair? Well, for me, it makes sense because Crosshair was on Tantis for a long amount of time, and he said, and we know, that they did experiments on him. It seems like only he was getting some of these certain experiments, some of these particular tests, like when Omega finds him at the end of Season 2. Also, it would make sense for someone like Dr. Hemlock to try and do tests and extra experiments on the one clone they have that has super enhanced abilities. Also, offering the possibility to explore other projects with him aside from Project Necromancer. The only flaw I'm aware of, and I know some of you are going to mention it, is that if you wanted to make a clone, the acceleration process would have to be super advanced and something that we've never seen before in canon. However, there is a thing called the Spaarti cylinder, which is known to be the fastest form of cloning. It can create a clone in about a year, which I'd say is roughly how long Crosshair was actually on Tantis for. Also, in Legends, Mount Tantis also has these same Spaarti cylinders, which Thrawn ends up discovering. So again, this can tie into what they're currently doing with the Bad Batch, this whole Spaarti cylinder, but it can also tie into future stuff with Ahsoka Season 2, for example. I want you to remember these Spaarti cylinders for later on in the video as well. So next is the build of the character. This CX2, he looks very slim and tall, kind of like Crosshair. I know it's not much, but they could have made him look a particular way. They could have made him shorter, more standard, but he looks taller, like Crosshair. The gear is similar. The extra visor thing on the side of his head, the backpack, even some of the stances that he has. Now for me, the part that I started catching on, what if this is a Crosshair clone, was when this clone had a fight with Crosshair. They're similar builds as I stated, but for me, the fight felt like it was a mirroring of some sorts. Crosshair was struggling in general. He didn't seem to know how to defend. I just think it would be kind of trippy if Crosshair was essentially fighting himself. That is some symbolism, poetic type of thing that Dave Filoni would do, showing us Crosshair's internal fight, but in a physical form. The whole, he was on the dark side, now he's overcoming it to redeem himself, him getting out of his head a lot more in general, getting past the whole mental side that we see is even affecting his arm and everything. So I can see it being some sort of poetic thing. Next reason, and I think this varies depending on who you are, is the voice. I think the voice sounds very similar to Crosshair's. I don't know exactly how to explain. Maybe it's the accent that sounds a lot closer to Crosshair's. Even with the cadence being messed about with using the helmet effect, it just sounds more like Crosshair to me. Even the way that the lines are delivered, it sounds more like Crosshair. Sometimes it's very slow, direct with what he's trying to say. It just reminds me a lot of the way Crosshair speaks, from the sound, from the delivery, all of that stuff. Also, just to point out some more obvious stuff, we've seen he likes to use a sniper, which is Crosshair's speciality. You don't just use a weapon like a sniper for the sake of it. You have to be skilled. It's a lot more of a technical weapon compared to your average everyday gun. And I personally think that we will see this CX2 and Crosshair fight one more time, and I can see it being sort of like Crosshair's clutch moment, his redeeming moment. It will be at a time where the stakes are high, and he will finally pick up some sort of W in this season. So overall, I think it could go down this route. However, there's a second answer which still involves Crosshair. I really don't think this would happen, but it would be kind of cool to see it. What if the Crosshair that helped Omega escape, and the one that we've been seeing all along, is actually a Crosshair clone? That's why he's got the messed up hand. That's why the experiments didn't work. And that's why he's been acting a bit more chill. He's not as hot-headed. He's not really been himself as much. Maybe he's been humbled from the whole experimenting thing. He just wants to start fresh, but maybe that could be a reason. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, but how does Crosshair have all the original Crosshair's memories then? Well, in comes the Spaarti cylinder yet again. And this process allowed memories to be put in a fresh clone's brain through a process called flash pumping. However, if the Spaarti clone was only given about a year or so to form, then it had the potential of getting the dangerous side effect clone madness. And what did we know? Crosshair has been on Tantis for about a year, so this could be one of the side effects. Obviously, the clone madness could be an extreme side effect, but with Crosshair, we could be seeing a little side effect. His arm, which is his enhanced ability, is not working. Think of it as kind of like Starkiller from The Force Unleashed for those of you who have played the game, except that this one has different circumstances. Obviously the Force isn't involved with Crosshair and what they're trying to do to him. But overall, the point being, what if the one that we've been seeing is a clone and CX2 is the real Crosshair? All along we thought we knew it was him. Nope. It's the real one that has been trying to sabotage the Bad Batch. He hasn't been redeemed. Who knows? Like I said, I really don't think this is the one, but it would be cool to kind of explore and be very dark in that way. Overall, even if I'm wrong, I believe that the main thing that they're trying to introduce from this show is the Spaarti cylinders. So maybe the theory can tie into Tech for those of you who still think that it's him. What if they grabbed his body, whatever, they did the whole Spaarti thing, and this CX2 is Tech. It also ties in with those of you that believe that the clone is a hybrid. Maybe they've done a hybrid of Crosshair and Tech using this Spaarti cylinder. I think this is the process that is also being used for whatever it is that Palpatine is looking for, whatever he's cooking. I think this is just the beginning of the whole story. This could be a secret thing which gets explored in future content, whether it's all the way down the line in Ahsoka or whether it's in a potential new spin-off show that has been rumored which will have Rex. Who knows? But I think the main thing is that this is the process they're trying to introduce. It's from Legends. We know Dave Filoni grabs a lot of stuff from Legends. He retcons a lot of stuff and he makes it his in a way. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd appreciate if you drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're new around here, it helps the channel massively to keep growing, to keep tackling the algorithm. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.